So let's start with your artist name. It speaks to qualities like the grungy build-up of multimedia and aesthetic ties to streetwear and to tagging. So how did the name Yuck come about? And is there anything about the name that speaks to your artistic approach?
I guess so. I chose that name because when I first put my art out there, I was really afraid of judgment. And so I wanted to beat people to it. They can't judge me. I already called myself Yuck, so you can't call my art gross or yuck because I said it first, you know? And a lot of my artworks are very, I like to draw attention to unconventional things in the world, I guess, things that are perceived as yuck or gross. I've drawn trash cans and made it look pretty, you know? I always do that when I walk on the street in the city and I see something that, a sign or a trash bin or a gutter, and I like how it looks, I like how the light hits it, I like how it's colourful, and I'm I'm going to draw that.
Yeah.
So that's, I guess, how I associate with yuck.
It's more focusing on, I guess, kind of the unnoticed aspects of everyday life.
Yeah.
Making them pretty or funky or giving them a makeover effectively. That's cool. And Tiger Kid 2.0, which we see on this TV, is the second iteration of your Tiger Kid series, the first one being on my t-shirt here. Available for those interested.
Thank you.
With strong ties to childhood nostalgia and actually using your old family television, the rotoscope tiger here becomes almost an imaginary friend to the textured child, like a punk version of Calvin and Hobbes. So what was the starting point for this artwork, and what aspects to this childhood does it speak to?
So when I got asked to do this TEXTA exhibition, it just threw me back to drawing on furniture as a kid. That never stopped, but luckily now it's art and not a mess, I guess. So I decided to use this TV that I grew up on and cover it in TEXTA and make it comic-y and arty, and then with the Tiger Kid one, which is on your t-shirt, I guess that ties back to childhood because the kid just reminds me of my childhood self, or my inner child, something that's still in me, and the tiger's just my protective self, and I always try and feed my inner child by being a bit playful and, running in the rain, or I don't know, just stuff like that. That's, you're scared to do because of judgment, but why did we stop doing it? So
yeah, totally. And in the early curatorial stage of the show, I came about your work by trying as many hashtags of texture as possible. I think it was a drawing of goblins in a share house, which is the first piece I came across. You've got a lot of deep layers of purples and greens and kind of grotty, dark colours. I wanted to ask you about your approach to textures and why you go about certain colours in your work, and did bringing the medium to animation expand your idea on it?
So with the purples and greens, I think I got drawn to it because they just seemed the most vibrant colours when it comes to textures, and I found that they picked up quite well when you take photos of the image, and I don't know why else. I'm guessing there's a subconscious underlying, but I just like the colours. And then when it came to this artwork in particular, so I'm really into animation at the moment, and especially I like 2D and 3D, and I wanted to combine the two and kind of showcase all the mediums that I am into. With the animated tiger, I just drew frame by frame with a black Sharpie, and then scanned it in and then edited it on Premiere. And then with the model, I picked the colours that I usually used when I did the goblin share houses, to kind of tie that back. And the character definitely, it isn't as goblin-y, but the colours are definitely still there. And the big ears and the big head is definitely still there.
When you made the 3D model, did you actually have some kind of texture that you were mapping onto the figure?
So when I did the 3D model, when I UV mapped it, I found it would be a bit too hard to kind of... So I unraveled the model into a 2D form and then printed it out. But I found it quite hard to figure out where the eyes go and where the ears go and all that stuff, because it's just unraveled.
Disembodied, yeah.
Yeah. So I ended up using Substance Painter and texturing it on the 3D model first. And then I unraveled that texture, printed that out, and used that as a reference for when I actually did the TEXTA, like actual TEXTA. That sounds really complicated. I don't know how to simplify that. Yeah.
Fair enough. And does your future work also intend to embed animation with these childhood associations?
For sure.
Yeah.
I don't think that'll ever stop.
So what's next for you?
Right now I'm doing a comic series where I'm using Posca pens on different objects like canvases, but also random signs I found on the street and random objects and furniture I found on the street, and just adding, a little comic character onto it.
And then making almost like a furniture store with different stories.
Oh yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
Cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Yuck.
Okay, thank you.